The first question is from Derek Taylor. Please go ahead, Derek.
Hey, Buck, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, Derek, good to see you.
Good to see you. Congrats on the job. When did you know you wanted to be a head coach in the CFL?
Uh, well, I just knew I wanted to be a coach. I knew I wanted to stay around the game. I knew I wanted to, learn, and continue just to, grow as a coach. I don't know if I ever, you know, knew that I wanted to be a head coach at some point, or if that was an aspiration of mine, which I know it is for a lot of young coaches. I just wanted to learn, and Winnipeg gave me the opportunity, to learn, and I'm grateful for that. Obviously, I think, you know, as coaching careers go on, and you might take on different roles and expectations and responsibilities. It's an exciting notion, right? So to have the opportunity now to be a head coach is a dream of mine. Do it in BC is extremely surreal, and excited to get started.
Can I ask, is there something that you'll take away from the time you worked with Mike O'Shea that will guide you as a head coach?
Well, I mean, probably the better questions is, what won't I take? Listen, I've been around a lot of coaches, throughout the course of my career, and the impact that Mike's had, and what he's done for me and my family, and the experiences and the things I've learned. I'll carry those with me.
And just one final one, you hired Kevin Burgoyne to be on your staff. What drew you to Kevin, or what continues to draw you to Kevin?
Yeah. Well, I've worked with Kevin, for a number of years. Very smart, football coach. Extremely detailed. He's coached, the running back position, and he's been, our receivers coach there in Winnipeg for a number of years. So, we work extremely well together. He's excited about the opportunity, to come with us to BC, and we're fortunate enough to have him.
Thank you, Buck. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Derek.
Thank you, Derek. Next questions from JC Habit. Please go ahead, JC.
Hey, Buck. Last time we spoke was right after you were hired, and you were talking through the process of getting to know Nathan, and getting settled and beginning to build that relationship. I wonder, at what stage of that process are you at now, and what have those conversations been like in the last couple of months?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've had opportunities to, talk and get to know each other a little bit. Obviously, it's been a pretty quick, turnaround for us. Conversations are ongoing with myself and Nathan, and keeping him up to speed on what we're doing, and what we're working on. And just picking his brain a little bit about just getting to know him. Getting to know him, and as a player, as a pro. And as a guy that's just excited about the opportunity, and look forward to what we're gonna do.
When you put together your staff, you've got a bit of a unique situation on the defensive side of the ball, where you've got Mike Benavides stepping into the defensive coordinator role, but Ryan Phillips, who had that role last year, is still on the staff. I know those two guys have worked together; they work well together. But from a head coaching standpoint, do you have any concerns about players looking at two voices in the room when you've got those two guys there?
No, none whatsoever. I mean, I'll talk about Benny here, first for a little bit, but Benny's proven coach in this league. He's done a great job at defensive coordinating. He's coached multiple things. He's been around the organization, so to be able to get Benny in that position, was a no-brainer for us. I think the icing on the cake was, still being able to keep Ryan in the building. Ryan's an excellent coach. I know across the league he's got, tremendous, respect from offensive coaches, across the league, and what he does and his growth as a coach. I see it as a great opportunity, to have those two guys working together. They're one thing that's really great about those guys is they are all about the BC Lions, and we're pulling in the same direction, and they want nothing more than to see the team have success. And I think it's going to be a good fit.
When it comes to that conversation with Ryan, what was that like? Because ostensibly it's a demotion of sorts, even though I'm sure he's still going to have a very important role. How did you take that news, and what was that conversation like?
Well, I mean, I think, as a football coach, right? You want to be in a place, that you're able to grow and you're able to, learn and excel, right? And Ryan understands that. He has a great relationship, with Benny. I have a good relationship with Ryan. I think there's, great mutual respect there. So, it's, not a hard conversation in the aspect of, we all want what's best for the club.
Hmm. And last one before I give it over to somebody else. Um, you touched on it a little bit, but how much are you as a first-time head coach going to lean on Benny just with his wealth of experience and having done it for this club before?
Yeah, well, I think the unique thing is Benny has been, with this club. Benny was the head coach when I got traded back to BC from Winnipeg in 2013. He was the special teams coordinator when I came into the CFL in 2005. So our relationship is you know uh, you know grown throughout the years. I have great respect for Benny. I think that whether you're a first head coach or not, you still need people around you, right? And Benny's a guy that I've always leaned on and always respected. The way that he treats players, the way that he attacks the process and his passion for the CFL and players respect him. So I'm excited to work with him in that aspects.
Thanks, Buck. I'll maybe come back around at the end.
Thank you, JC. Next question is from Frank Danishi. Please go ahead, Frank.
Thank you, Buck. Congratulations on getting the head coaching job in BC.
Thank you very much.
And I know how happy it must make. Well, not happy. How at home you might feel there, which is probably something that's really good if you're gonna go somewhere, right?
Yeah, I obviously, I do have, a history there and, fond memories there as well. And I also, you know, spent the last 14 years, of my life in Winnipeg. So, we always try and make, wherever we are and, wherever, our careers take us, we feel it's important to set down roots and, get involved in the communities and all those things. And I've done that everywhere I've been. So, to be able to come back to, the lower mainland and, be around some people that I've known there for, 20 plus years. Yeah, we're extremely excited about that.
Nathan Mork had a great first season. His rookie year was incredible. Last year, it wasn't like that. It was different. As a former quarterback who has dealt with, good seasons, bad seasons, how do you feel you need to deal with him? Is it game film, dissecting game film, or is it something you figure should be a reset or something like that? What process do you see helping him to go back to who he was?
Well, I think everybody's a little bit different. Uh, we're all human beings, right? And playing quarterback at the professional level is one of the hardest things to do, right? So there's gonna be ups and downs. There's gonna be adversity, and what I love about Nathan and I think what you know the people around him understand about him is he's gonna thrive in adverse situations. He's a guy that wants to be coached. I think Nathan obviously has extremely high expectations of himself. But his standards of what he's going to do are going to match those expectations, right? So he's going to continue to work extremely hard, just to do what he can for the team, right? I think quarterbacks have to understand that your job as a quarterback sometimes is to go out there and make the pieces around you better. And Nathan's obviously he's an elite talent that has a huge upside, and really when you speak to him and you start, getting to know him, I mean, just a quality human being and just, loves the CFL. He's a fantastic teammate. He'll rally people around him and, it'll be exciting for me to watch and witness.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for doing this.
Thanks, Frank.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Frank. Next questions from Jeff Hamilton. Please go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Buck, how you doing?
Hey, Jeff. Good, buddy.
Just curious, in learning from Mike O'Shea, you would have been there, obviously, when he first got on the scene, and it took him quite a bit of time, 2 full seasons, with twice as much losing as winning, to get kind of that nucleus of the leadership group of what he envisioned, being the success I imagine they've experienced and you guys have had experienced the last few years. I understanding it took him a little bit of time, some growing pains, comparing that to Corey Mace, who came as the first-year head coach last year, was up for Coach of the Year as well, and what was his rookie season. When you can factor in BC and how the expectations there, I doubt there's a lot of patience in BC right now for a winner. What are the expectations of the BC Lions in 2025?
Well, I think Jeff, a lot of people have asked me that. I think, our expectations are extremely high. We believe that, we have a good football team. There's some, core pieces, that we, are trying to get back. I believe we have one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And the expectations, should be high, right? And I think, like I said earlier, with those high expectations, you can't let your standards slip. All right. So, we're coming in here, in this season and putting a coaching staff together, along with, Ryan Rigmaiden, Neil McAvoy and our vision is going to be setting that standard of who we need to be, and not lower that standard, right? We need to, be able to become, tougher, more accountable. Obviously, being able to, mentally, be tougher to, withstand, what it takes to be successful in this league.
Filed under question that I'm sure you've answered already. When you look at your opportunity here, this is Buck Pierce's team. You have influence in decision making that you haven't had in the past. What is there a piece of advice that you've leaned on over the years, whether it was from a football coach, whether it was from a family, a friend, or whatever, someone that means something to you, that is at all guiding you in this process as you take on a lot more power in decision making?
Well, I think, the big thing is just, make sure, you understand, I don't need to be the guy that, controls everything. I need to be me, and I need to, continue to do the things that I've done, to be successful. And, I truly believe, you are as a coach as you are as a person, and striving to get better every day, surrounding myself, with good people in my life. I have an excellent support system, in my wife and kids. Just I think the biggest thing is be willing to learn, always keep an open mind and keep attacking everything, that I do with the same passion and emotion, that I do everything else.
Last one from me. Winnipeg is not all but it's all you've known for a little bit. You got Kevin Burgoyne on your staff. I'm not trying to get into tampering talks here or anything like that. You got free agency here. Could there be a little look of Winnipeg headed your way potentially? Because the relationships that you've been able to form in Winnipeg, are you hoping that those can work to your advantage when they're able to?
Yeah, well, I'll just speak on, the relationships, I have with those guys and the people in the building. Obviously, like I said, I've, was there for a long time. So the relationships, with everybody in that building, from, season ticket sales to, players to equipment staff to athletic training staff. Those relationships are what, matter to me. And I want the best for those guys. And I want to see those guys be successful. I think what gets overlooked sometimes in our profession and, coaching is, you know, you get into coaching to, help people and, better people's lives and give them opportunities, to succeed. And to me, that's the greatest factor. And, why I became a coach and why I want to be a coach is I want to give back and I want to, see these players grow, get better, provide opportunities, for them to, support their families, while playing the game that they love. And, we're going to try and, create, you know, competitive environment, for that kind of stuff to flourish for them.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. We're going to go with our last two questions. First, JC Habit, please go ahead.
Hey, Buck. I think a lot of people on the outside were maybe a little surprised to see how poorly the Lions graded out in the CFLPA report cards that came out this offseason. As a guy that's coming into the building now to try and change what was going on, where do you see the areas of most concern and what are your priorities for growth there?
Well, I think you try and grow every year, and listen, not everything's going to be perfect all the time. And we're, focused on, 2025 now putting our best foot forward and that comes from everybody in the building. Our owner, Amar has done everything in his power to give us, opportunities, to be successful, and we're extremely, grateful for that. And we're gonna, just like everybody else in the league, we're gonna continue to strive to be better.
How massive is it for what you want to do offensively and for Nathan's career to be able to add a guy like Dejon Allen at tackle?
Yeah, you look at Dejon and his body of work. Extremely gifted. I think his accolades speak for himself. Extremely consistent. And that's what you want. I think he's going to come into with the mindset of the type of people that we need and the people that we want in the building. I think at every position, when you look across the board, every team, throughout the off season, you look at ways to improve and way to get better. So a no brainer for us to get Dejon in, and we're excited to have him.
And just last one from me, I'll ask on behalf of my colleague John Hodge, because he's collecting this information on all the coaches in the league. What is the length of the contract that you signed in BC?
I'll go ahead and stay away from that right now.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, JC. Last question is from Frank Stanici. Please go ahead, Frank.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me a second chance, because I wanted to say congratulations on this, but not just that. We've seen a wave like you and other first-time head coaches recently. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think that there's a lot of great coaches in the CFL, whether, from head coaches to, people that have been on staff, guys that have worked extremely hard, had success. And, those guys are, now getting opportunities, to run their own clubs. I've always believed, that there's a lot of extremely, talented coaches in this league that work extremely hard, are extremely passionate about, the CFL game. A lot of coaches in this league have worked their way up, and learned and, grown as men and coaches. And it's exciting to see guys, get those opportunities and be rewarded like that. So, I think it's a great thing for the CFL.
And a lot of them, not that they weren't before, but a lot of them are recently removed from playing. They're relatively recent, removed from playing. Yeah. The game seems to be friendly to young thinkers right now. I guess that's the point I'm trying to drill down on.
Yeah, I think in most pro sports, I would say that's something that has always kind of been, been that way. Listen, I think, players that, have experienced things in the league, have gone through, moving to a new country, experiencing, the CFL game, making a life in Canada, and really, embracing, coaching in this league, is appealing to a lot of people. Um, you know, I, it'd be great, if we could get, more young coaches in.
I'm getting the impression that the investment is yielding something now that maybe it hasn't in the past as immediately as it has now. Because you guys
Well,
all,
yeah,
I mean, you all invest so much in the league. You turn your back on basically a life that you had. The commitment is complete.
well, I think, you look across the league and you look at the coaches and the people in the CFL, they're passionate about this league. They love the 3-down game. We love the CFL. It's been good for a lot of people. And to have the opportunity to, allow those guys to continue their, careers in this game, I think is great.
Well, congratulations on the posting and good luck to this season. And thanks for doing this.
Thanks, Frank.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you, Coach, and thank you, Frank. That concludes the first virtual media day at the 2025 CFL Winter Meetings. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Be sure to join us tomorrow for our second virtual media day starting at 10 a.m. Eastern with the General Manager of the Montreal Alouettes, Danny Machosha.